I try to be less because I'm not going to go over what happens when he said, but I can't leave here today without asking something about the hospital because it is the subject of the day and the subject out there in everyone's mind. So just to finish with the last speaker asked you, why did they know the preliminary costs? Why doesn't some expertise we have here now that we didn't know something that was started at 600 and something million ended up at 1.4 now and probably will end up at 2? Why? That's the question for all the Joe Soap out there and Mary Soap out there. They want to know, the taxpayer, why didn't someone, or why didn't you bring professional people that say, yes, the first preliminary thing it cost 600 million, but then there's extras, add-ons, whatever it is, that it will end up at 1.4 million or 2 million. I mean, someone should know that.
I think somebody does, and I think it's been set out. Deputy in the Bazaars report, I think somebody mentioned it a moment ago. The Bazaars report sets out the elements of it. And the PwC review, and I'll your further conversations you'll have as part of it. I don't think there's any mystery here as to what happened. I think it's very clear the reasons for the cost overruns now. The issue for us is...
But just simply call them overruns.
No, it is true. I think the way I would characterise it, I think up to the point when the government were asked to decide in spring 2017 that it was 980 million, I think it's from that moment where we are now where clearly the project did not develop in line with what was expected. I think that's absolutely legitimate, and that's the source of a lot of the debate and the discussion. And there are reasons for that around the mismeasurement of the bill of quantities. There's around value engineering savings which aren't secured. There was some design scope which can happen in the scale of the contract, and other issues. But I think Deputy, that is the question, and I think that I think the people in the National Children's Board, and they know they've set it out. I think the documentation is publicly available.
We know that the Department for Health is responsible for this project, but you also play a part in public expenditure. So where does the buck stop? I mean, have you the power to say, look, this started at 900 million, now it's at 1.5 billion? What power have you there to come in at that stage, you and your department? Because you're responsible for the money, and the Department of Health. And who is responsible for it? Is the Department of Health here, or the board or the hospital? Who is actually responsible for this happening? And that wasn't explained to the ordinary people, right?
So I think it's the sponsoring agency is, in this case, the National Children's Board, and they were responsible for managing the project for the sanctioning authority. And they're responsible for what happened. In terms of the decision, ultimately it was the government who had to make a decision, Deputy, as you know.
Yes, I know that.
And the government made that decision in December as to what to do, and they had to make a decision as to stop the project, not move to phase 2 and write off the money and restart again and have a children's hospital, whatever site or whatever cost, whatever time in the future, or to proceed with the decision on the hospital, even though it was going to cost us more money. That was the decision that the government, as you know, Deputy, that was the decision the government took.
This children's hospital has been in controversy for 20 years now. Yeah. We had the Mater, then we went to Crumlin, then we went up here, and then we're talking about the new Greenfield site out in the Western Barons, which a lot of people still think they should be out there because they maintain this is only half a project. There should be a maternity hospital there, should be a children's hospital with the main hospital as well, a general hospital as well, and that should be built out there. But that's another issue. Yeah. That's the government decision. That's not your decision. I understand that, and that's driven by the government of the day. Yeah. But what I want to know is what effect will this have on other projects? I mean, you spoke about the Ross bypass, which is my constituency, and all these. They're all going to be finished. But the other projects, we have primary cares, and not in primary care, I think it's about 8 have approached me that are in the pipeline. Now think they're going to be withdrawn. The billing that's going to be has to come out somewhere. Do you know, as the responsible body, where this money is going to be taken and who's going to suffer, or where are we going to lose out again in rural Ireland, or where are we going to lose out on these projects?
So, I think the government have set out there in terms of what it means for this year.
But there are no attendance where, though.
In terms of the projects how it's going to be funded for this year. I think generally the capital plan and the Project 2040 it is going to be by its nature iterative, and this is something which I think we have to be honest with people about. There will be projects that will accelerate. There will be projects that won't go as fast as we expect. And the profiles will have to be adjusted in the future, no matter what government is here. That's the nature of it. It's a longer term plan. So these are the key projects that the government feels should be supported, and most of them are supported by every deputy in the House. because they're common sense, proven roads, schools, hospitals and so forth. But how this plan is delivered over time will it'll evolve. It's not cast in stone. It'll be evolved.
Somebody is going to suffer in the short term. £1 billion is a lot of money. Somebody is going to suffer now. That should have been going ahead. Because it overrun the Children's Hospital is going to take £1 billion extra. That money has to be got somewhere. Yeah. So somebody's going to suffer. I mean, that's logic. We can't deny that. We're not going to get another billion.
No, and there's an opportunity cost to everything we do, not just spending more money on capital. There's an opportunity cost for higher pay, for more spend on anything.
Like I'd be worried about my constituency. I'm worried about the serious system that's promised money that that's supposed to be there next year, my own little parish, and now it could go back 3-4 years. I'm just giving an example.
Wow.
Well, everything is local. Politics are all local. You know that yourself. We all have to get elected locally as well.
I'm aware of that.
I just want to ask you about broadband again. And the Taoiseach himself has said that the quotation for broadband that was mentioned already could be a multiple of that. I just want to ask you now, as responsibility for the money again to spend, what's your comment on that? On the broadband scheme that's promised to be rolled out with the last 5 years, that might be rolled out for another 5.
So I think I'll let the Minister and the Government talk about broadband when they're ready to talk about broadband.
But if it's the multiple again, are we back to square one again as we have in the Children's Hospital? If we're starting to talk about 500,000 million of a rollout and now all of a sudden it could end up at 2 billion. I mean, this is flippant about money the same as nothing. £1 billion is still £1 billion.
Yeah. But you can help you. Our next meeting after the break is with the Department of Communication.
No, but I'm only asking the Department for Public Expenditure Reform if broadband is going to go another 400% more. I mean, they must surely have a comment to make on that if they're responsible for the money and the spend and how to spend. I mean, I know the department is responsible, but these are responsible for the money overall. So, like the public are listening here, what's your comment on if it goes up 400%?
I think I'll let the relevant minister, with all due respect to him.
For a minister of the government.
I have views, but any comment would be career changing.
Well, it's just spending the money. I'm trying to follow the money again. I'm not following the project.
I know everybody's interested in the outcome of that, but we shall see.